Thank you, Chairman, committee members, for the opportunity to speak with patience. I'll be speaking in opposition to 5343. No restrictions, manner, and method. When I read these lines in Bill 5343, the first thing that struck me was whether or not I could come up with any goods or services worth pursuing that actually were restrictionless in their production, delivery, or execution. Whether you're assembling a vehicle for safety or demolishing a building, I would think that restrictions and standards are a given. Even in my data analyst role at work, lack of restrictions result in compromised outcomes that negatively affect business associates, which I have a fiduciary responsibility to. All from just a poorly executed report or model delivered to our business partners. But here we're talking about something foundational, of medical procedures with so much more at stake, so much more controversy and contention, that more serious matters warrant less or no scrutiny is counterintuitive, unsound, and extreme, to say the least. We don't even have to appeal to any of the fundamental issues of personhood or viability. We can agree that this is unsound legislation just on this one basis alone. The often repeated statement of abortion being legal, safe, and rare has already undergone the jettisoning of the word rare. Do we now want to begin cutting away at the word safe? Do we want to remove the yellow signal on our traffic lights and expect the outcome to be anything but disaster? It may be argued that such legislation would not lead to the kind of horrors that have already taken place elsewhere, but the unspecified language of this bill provides no barrier to such a development. We know instinctively that law teaches. The wrong kind of law undermines its very purpose to secure the rights of persons, and this one has the capacity to do so by promoting exploitation and callous disregard for the dignity of our fellow residents. I instead ask you to put your support behind HB 5100 as a reasonable step to promote the welfare of our state. And on the subject of restrictions, I would like to read a quote to you. If relativism signifies contempt for fixed categories and those who claim to be the bearers of objective immortal truth, then there is nothing more relativistic than fascist attitudes and activity. From the fact that all ideologies are of equal value, this person contends, we fascists conclude that we have the right to create our own ideology and to enforce it with all the energy which we are capable. This is the issue, is that contempt for these categories, for restrictions, is by Benito Mussolini, the founder of fascism, what fascism really is. Thank you.
Thank you, Luigi. Any questions? Representative Knight.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. So I've heard this argument so many times tonight about the language in the bill, and I think it's important that we stick to the language in the bill so that we all know what we're talking about. The uses of the words restriction in Representative Pacello's bill comes up in lines 11 and lines 12. It says, nobody, not the state nor its agencies or political subdivisions, shall restrict the use of medically recognized methods of contraceptive or abortion. And in the next line, restrict the manner in which medically recognized methods of contraceptive and abortion are provided. The lawyers on the committee will tell everyone in the room that in law, every period, every comma, every word matters. Our Supreme Court and the United States Supreme Court will tell you that when we look at law structures, every single word matters. And even if two laws seem on their face to not agree with each other, the courts will struggle mightily to give both sections meaning. We have a whole health and regulation side of things that is going to stay intact and is not going to be affected by this law because of the phrase medically recognized. It is a recognition by the authors that what shall control, should this bill pass, is ethical, approved medical procedures and devices that are subject to other forms of regulation. So this idea of running through the counter arguments against this bill, that this bill lets loose the gates and that you can do anything you want in terms of abortion or contraceptive, is just not true. We read all the language and we read it carefully.